So today we were coming up with an idea to use some stuff around the house if you don't have any traditional equipment like kettlebells or dumbbells. And I found this out the hard way just by moving crap in our basement that it was pretty heavy and could be used as an external load with training. So what we're gonna do is I have a Tupperware or rubber bin here with my wife's old, I don't know if you can see this, old college stuff, a bunch of bins, folders, books, etc. It's fairly heavy, haven't put it on the scale. We're gonna use that for a lower body exercise, a Romanian deadlift variation, so I'll show you that in a second. For an upper body one, we're gonna do a kind of press, which anything you come up with, you could use a standard press where I come like this and I'm kind of in this jumping jack plane. But what I'm gonna do, because I'm using my daughter's old LOL backpack, you wanna come over here and unzip it and show them? And in here, go ahead and unzip it. Kind of got it packed in there precariously. We have bottled waters and a jug of Gatorade in here. And she has a secondary pouch where we've got it stuffed with bottled waters as well. So this is cool. And I stole this from Barbell Medicine as an idea, but I'm sure plenty of people have done this before. I'm gonna use this as a press. And because I'm gonna hold on to it, this part is actually tearing. We got to get her a new backpack, so I'm going to hold on to it by the handles, and what that's going to do is make the weight kind of like a kettlebell hang down. I'm going to kind of bang on my wrist a little bit. So I'm going to do a press pattern that's a little different. You can do whatever you want. If you can comfortably do this, but the backpack's going to hit my shoulder, so I'm not going to, but I'm going to do a kettlebell kind of a press pattern where I'm in front and pressing kind of in a different plane a little bit. And to make it a little bit harder, I'm going to kneel, and with actually all these exercises, I'm going to do what we talked about in our last video, where to make it harder, we're going to use a tempo. So I'm going to press both up and down on a 3-second tempo. And then I'm actually gonna have my nice little volunteer here help me out with another exercise where it's gonna be a Bulgarian split squat. And she's just gonna jump about roughly 40 pounds on my back, and we will do a split squat with that. And then there's another core exercise. So all these repetitions are gonna be in the 8 to 12 range. Whoa! And we'll start out with this one first, since she's on there and ready to go. So I am going to just get balance, and I'm gonna move this balance foot wherever I need. You ready? I think I'm set, so we're gonna do 8 to 12 on each leg, okay? So here we go. You wanna count them out for me? That's 1, that's 2, there you go. 3, 4, good job. 5, good job. 6, 7, 8, do 10. 9, 10. One more. Oh, we got off there. All right, that was probably Daddy's bad counting. We're gonna switch legs. You ready?
Yeah, how do you do that?
We're holding on. Here we go. And 1. You gotta see I got reposition my foot.
3,
3. Good job.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good job.
We did 11 months.
Oh, well, we're just doing 10. You're choking me. Thank you, helper. That's all I need. Ready? All right, kiddo. So, with that, upon review, if I were to do that for another set, I would actually probably do the tempo thing as well to make that just a little more challenging. One thing to talk about really quick is if you can't get your balance for whatever reason, if that was just too difficult, or if you're, for whatever reason, have balance issues, you do not have to have your back leg on there. You could probably just do a split second or a split stance, just like so, and up and down. And you could use the backpack, load it up with whatever you want. If you didn't have a 40-pound little helper like I had choking me at the same time, you can hold on to that backpack and do the same kind of split stance, or you can make that a walking lunge, a reverse lunge, tons of variations on that. Make whatever work for you, however you have to. Next, we're gonna use this heavy bin, and we're gonna do a Romanian deadlift variation where basically I'm gonna lift it up. This is going to squish in a little bit with my hips. That's okay. I'm just gonna stand up with it. And when I do this, I do not want it to touch the ground. I wanna keep the tension on my hamstrings and lower back. So I'm gonna kind of stick my chest out and try to maintain this neutral spine. And I'm going to flex at the hips here, keeping my chest up. There's a lot of tension there. I don't wanna hit my feet though, because that takes some of that tension away. So I'm gonna stop just shy of that and then come back up into full hip extension. Again, that's what I was talking about. I'm kind of pumping the rubber mid here, but just to get into full hip extension. So what I'm gonna do is do the same thing. Keep the tension on my hamstrings to about there, and then come up. There's 2, 3, 4. We can do that same tempo, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 5, 3, just to make it more challenging. There's 6, let's do 2 more, 3, 7, 1 more. Great, and there's a set for that. For our next exercise, I'm gonna use this. Kind of come with this. I'm in a half kneel position because my height isn't so big on these ceilings. It's easier for you guys to see it. So whatever one I'm pressing with, the other one is the kneeling leg. I'm going to press up in this kind of kettlebell press pattern. And it's kind of moving on me, so I'm going to try to go slow to make it A, a little harder, and B, to keep it from wobbling everywhere. Switch. Let's start. Forearms. 3. In this position, you'll see how it's kind of just dangling over. If I were to try to do a traditional one, the backpack hits and shortens my range of motion, so that's why I've kind of got it hanging over the side there. There's 8. We'll put that implement down. And the last one we'll do for 8 to 12 is a different variation of a plank. So last time we did a standard plank where we held it with our forearms in this kind of parallel to my body orientation, standard plank. This time we're gonna do one that moves. So it's kind of more of a dynamic plank. And when I fold over, I'll go from a side bridge. I'm gonna roll over kind of a log style where my torso and hips stay together. And when I do that, I'm not gonna be oriented vertically with my forearms. They're gonna be horizontal. So as an example here, and our feet will always be in a split stance scenario, so they won't get caught up. I'll show you that from a different view in a second. But the first one is my side bridge. My arm is going perpendicular to my body. And I'm up, I hold myself. Now when I fold in, I do it together, and this arm will fold either in or above it, whatever's comfortable. Hold that for 3 seconds, and then we'll rotate to the other side for 3 seconds. And that'll count as 1 rep. So for this view, so you can see what the feet are doing, so they don't get tangled up. There's always space, the top foot will always be in front. We'll hold it for 3 seconds. 1,000, 2, 1,003. Turn together. My feet don't get caught up. 1, 2, 3. We turn again. The top foot is always in front. 1, 2, 3, and that's a rep. So we'll just count that as 1 rep. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,003. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,003. It's 2. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,003. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,003. 3. 3, 4, 3, 5, 7, 8, 3. Okay, so again, I would do that circuit. You could pick any order to do those exercises in. Again, to make it more difficult, I was just doing 8 to 12 reps. You can either bump up the repetitions to make it more challenging. If it's too difficult, you can bring the repetitions down. Just like in the last video, and I kind of did about halfway through one of those sets, we can invoke the tempo change, going down on a 3-second eccentric, and then up on a 3-second count. Or you can pause at the bottom. So there are ways to make that more difficult. And again, we just use stuff we had around the house. Other ideas that I've done before that are very similar. Instead of the Rubbermaid bin, if you didn't have that, a laundry basket, laundry detergent, cat litter, things of that nature, they all can kind of fill in for this RDL that we did with the Rubbermaid bin. Other ideas for the press, Again, anything that gets you that resistance to be able to press in this standard manner, or if you have something that hangs, you can do that kettlebell version as well. I just chose the backpack, sack of groceries. Everyone's strength is different. Whatever implement you can hold, that's perfectly okay. So look forward to more videos.